My beloved, do you think it's an accident that you are hearing my voice right now? No. Heaven planned this moment long before you took your first breath. This is one of the divine laws of the universe. Yes, this is the law of attraction. I was sent to remind you, nothing in your life happens by chance. Every step, every turn, every closed door, and every open one has led you here, to this exact moment. Before I reveal what heaven wants you to know, take a moment to like this video so this word can reach those who are searching for light. And then, receive this message with love. Type in the comments, I receive and accept it with love, and seal it with 547. This is not just a gesture, it is a spiritual alignment. It keeps the divine law of giving and receiving in perfect balance. Heaven is watching who responds. You'll notice a super thanks button right below this video. And listen carefully, when you give $22 or more, you are not simply supporting a channel. You are planting a heavenly seed in the soil of your own future. Just as a farmer never plants without expecting a harvest, your gift will return to you multiplied. Archangel Michael declares, every divine seed will bear divine fruit. When you give, you're saying, God, I trust you. I believe your promises. I'm ready for the blessing you've prepared for me. And let me tell you, heaven remembers those moments of faith. Your name is written in the book of remembrance, and the harvest is already on its way. Now, step with me into the message heaven has been waiting to release into your life. You have been going about your day with a calm storm taking place inside of you. At this moment, the sky in your life is beginning to break apart. There is a current that is not apparent that is going through every aspect of your reality, rearranging information that you believe to be stable. The situation that you are about to enter is not a prize. The recognition comes from the fundamental foundation of existence itself. At long last, treat you like the formidable force that you have always been. Those who are observing from the outside may feel as though they are being treated unfairly because the resources, relationships, and opportunities that you once had to pursue are suddenly rushing toward you very quickly. As soon as you make the decision that you will no longer be requesting permission, the shadows that are in your way reveal themselves to be an accurate representation of themselves. Paper walls that have been fashioned into mountains. Those individuals who believed that you would continue to show a lack of confidence are about to find out that you have been honing skills that they were unaware you possessed. Your patience was a plan, not a sign of weakness, but they failed to take it into account. And at this same moment, they are observing the table tilting in your favor without offering even a single move that they can counter. There was a moment when something clicked within you, like a lock that had been rusted for years suddenly swinging open. This occurred a few days ago. When you took a deep breath, the haze that you had been walking through vanished, and in its place, a peculiar certainty emerged. That moment was not a coincidence. It was the signal that you had been waiting for ever since you were unable to identify what it was that you were starting to become. The chain of events is causing every delay, every setback, and every weight that has been connected to your ankles to be released. You have finally achieved mastery over the one weakness that they are unable to guard against. The skill of moving as if you have already won the struggle. It is not a coincidence that you have arrived here. He led you astray. If you feel that something is stirring within your spirit, you should disregard it. You can gain access to exclusive content, prophetic insights, and a community of souls who are driven by a purpose by tapping the join button. Not only is this a membership, but now is the time for you to align yourself. Take the first step toward becoming the person you were meant to be. You have arrived at the chosen. The point has been reached where you no longer make any adjustments to your stride in response to anyone attempting to trip you. There is a change in the sensation of the ground underneath you. Because every loose stone that could have caused you to stumble is being swept out of your path, you are able to remain steady and unshakable. In the background, individuals who earlier took pleasure in causing disruption in your life are gradually disappearing from the picture. It is not by your own hand, but rather by a force that is adamant about not allowing them to continue participating in your plot line. Even vengeance is not the point of this. The issue is one of alignment. In light of the fact that they are no longer able to evaluate your value, the departure does not have the same unpleasant effect. You have now moved beyond the realm in which their strategies are effective. They are unable to even contact you now with the hooks that they used to lure you into their drama in the past. Your perception has become extraordinarily keen, nearly to the point of being supernatural. You are able to sense the presence of ill will even before a word is spoken. Before someone even makes a move, you should be able to identify the character flaws that they have. It's not only that you have a good perception of others. That you have acquired the ability to read the pulse of reality itself is the solution. Observing the formation of patterns before the outcome has even been determined. You will be forced to reevaluate everything as a result of the truth showing itself. The true reason why they continue to surround you even though they couldn't stand each other during that time. Despite the fact that you were too preoccupied with surviving to see it, they perceived a scale of influence in you. People's actions are influenced by that kind of presence, regardless of whether they are supporting you or opposing you. Their entire game was designed to make you forget what you've always carried with you, and they succeeded in doing so. The natural authority that you have over the areas where you enter. At this moment, the appropriate connections, opportunities, and alignments are coming closer and closer to one another like the tide. Unwavering and unquenchable. The individuals who believed they could keep you hanging by a thread by making false promises are now watching you match with opportunities that they will never be able to take advantage of. Those who disappeared with the belief that they could come back on their own terms are coming to the realization that the door is not simply closed, rather, it has been replaced by a wall. All of the strategies that they employed to weaken you have been retaliated against by you. In addition, the stillness that you have provided for them is more powerful than any response that they might have anticipated. Allow your love to shine through if your heart is filled to the brim with the blessings of God. If you would want to plant the seeds of faith that will touch the lives of countless people, please click the super thank you button and donate at least $40. Your generosity is a reflection of His many blessings. Being a vessel for His grace will allow you to witness the expansion of His kingdom through you. Everyone who is observing is unable to ignore the fact that everything in your immediate vicinity is gradually coming together in harmony. They are coming to the realization that the equilibrium that you have achieved is not confined to a single aspect of your life. Through each and every component of it, it is woven. Those individuals who sought to keep you in a haze while silently bringing havoc to your doorstep are now facing a reality in which they are unable to restore the damage that they inflicted. They were the ones who formerly treated your presence as if it were no longer necessary. It is only by their games, their contradictory signals, and their persistent shifting of the reality that the distance between you has been further strengthened. You had a period when you were able to hold them in grace. Even when they tried to test your patience and when they worked together in groups to humiliate you, you managed to keep your spirit firmly planted on the ground and maintain a constant line of compassion while you weathered their storms. Nevertheless, that chapter is now over. You are about to enter a period in which your name will create opportunities, in which your presence will alter the temperature of every room, and in which your influence will move stealthily but forcefully into areas that your detractors will not be able to comprehend. The thing that they did not anticipate was that the very thing that strengthened your core would be the precise thing that they had been working to make you smaller. Every strategy they discussed in hushed tones, every group they organized, and every sham attempt they staged to undermine you just served to bring to light a truth that they did not wish to be expressed. The fact that your existence necessitates a response. Furthermore, that reaction, whether it was generated out of appreciation or opposition, demonstrates how unique you are. A new circle is emerging around you at this very moment. The kind that does more than merely fill space, it also elevates it. People who arrive without any pretense, who naturally align themselves with your rhythm, and who do not require any convincing to believe in your vision are the ones who fall into this category. Some of these reconnections are the result of actual progress, but the majority of them are newfound acquaintances who bring with them an innate comprehension of who you are. The relationships have an eerie quality to them, almost as if they were settled upon a very long time ago. Having a connection is not enough. Recognition at the most fundamental level, when words are not necessary and loyalty is simply recognized, is what it stands for. You have the impression that the kind of relationships that are forming around you now were carved out of the very truth itself. Without any hidden conditions, unshakable, and spotless. It is not necessary for you to provide an explanation for the decisions you have made in order to safeguard your personal tranquility. In no way do they request that you unlock doors that you have previously locked. They are aware of the rationale behind the existence of those locks. When life becomes difficult, they are not here to disappear, to twist your words, or to punish you for setting limits. They are not for any of these things. You have developed an inner compass that is so polished that the typical tactics and guilt plays are no longer able to affect you emotionally. Moreover, what is even more remarkable is the fact that these new connections are not only there to stand by your side. The tools, insights, and pathways that they bring with them are designed to mix in perfectly with what you are constructing. It was not by chance that any of them came. In situations where your life is on the verge of expanding in ways that you are unable to quantify at this time, the appropriate players enter the picture as if they were on cue. Each one of them is holding a component that pertains to the overall design. A special glow emanates from the individuals that you are attracting at this moment. It is not a shine that is performed, but rather a brilliance that is consistent and does not require competition. Your own laughing is not diminished by theirs. Their accomplishments do not pose a danger to you. Also, their giving is not conditional in any way. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also, Matthew 6 verse 21. Let your heart be in holy voices with a $100 gift. You are now someone who is able to recognize sincerity without any hesitation, and every previous experience you had with people who were manipulative or draining of your energy was a veiled lesson. There was never any intention for those tests to break you. They were helping you become more adept at making intelligent decisions. The old weight that you used to bear will feel a lot heavier than these new bonds, which will feel an incredible amount lighter. You will now feel understood before you have even completed speaking, in contrast to the past, when you were required to keep track of every encounter, explain every move, and prepare yourself for disappointment that you might experience. You won't arrive at the end of chats feeling drained, rather, you'll leave feeling charged with possibility. In addition, as this transition is taking place, the very individuals who attempted to destabilize you are experiencing a heat that they are unable to identify. Because the thing that was supposed to bring you down has turned out to be the driving force behind your climb. The individuals who used to take pleasure in putting your patience to the test are now being forced to see something for which they were not prepared. A bliss that cannot be shattered by anything. You are surrounded by a circle that is indestructible like stone. And your determination to never again allow yourself to be drawn into their games. The benefits of your presence were what they desired, but they did not offer you the respect that you would have merited. The hope is that they will be able to conceal their true intentions while discreetly stirring up dissent. But there is no longer a veil. You are able to anticipate their actions before they take them, their reasons before they come out with them, and their desperation before they recognize it. Those who are shaken by the rapidity of your metamorphosis are unable to keep your name out of their mouths and are venting their frustrations to anyone who is ready to listen. They get a sense of it. At this point, they have completely lost control of you. The constraints that they relied on have been removed, and you have found yourself in a position of freedom that causes them to feel uneasy. Your time will no longer be spent with restless individuals that are more likely to deplete you than to inspire you. Those individuals who have nothing but boredom to offer are being removed from your circle in a stealthy manner, and you are no longer entertaining those individuals who make their living off of the energy of other people. It is already clear that the days that lie ahead are full with promise. You are making progress toward events that will feed your ambition, environments in which your presence will be valued rather than questioned on your behalf. Something that they were not anticipating is being found out by them. Because you are not merely achieving success, rather, you have become a force that they are unable to ignore. When you are unwavering in your commitment to the truth, reality will begin to conform to accommodate your beliefs. Their preconceived notions about your capabilities are disintegrating beneath the sheer force of your presence, which cannot be denied. In addition, there is yet another shift that is already active. The arrival of a stream of resources and opportunities that are flowing in your direction, arriving just when you have created the space to accommodate them. This timing was chosen on purpose. Each and every action you've taken to regain your power, as well as each and every decision you've made to stop bending to the noise, has set off a chain reaction of precise maneuvers beginning to fall into place. It used to be that indecision would slow you down, but today clarity is what speeds you up. You have given up trying to get approval for the decisions you make. Additionally, by doing so, you have positioned yourself in a position where everything that you have been anticipating can finally make its way to you. The stage that you are currently in is the one in which every quiet investment, every hidden effort, and every moment in which you continue to move despite tiredness begins to disclose its return. It is no longer the case that you are discussing possibilities. You are showcasing evidence. Additionally, that evidence is loud enough to reach even those individuals who pretended they had not heard you in the past. The phase in which the bravery to act openly becomes second nature is the one that we are currently in. When you were younger, taking chances that would have rendered you helpless now feels like measured measures. Because you are functioning with a clarity that makes it difficult for someone to deceive you, you are able to perceive someone's true expression for precisely what it is the instant another person's mask falls off. Some people will respond to your boundaries as if they have been robbed, throwing emotional fits, creating stories, and twisting storylines in order to make you appear irrational. On the other hand, you are unfazed since you have finally come to terms with the fact that safeguarding your tranquility will invariably reveal those individuals who were invested in disrupting it. You have severed relations with an individual who is a chronic excuse maker, an individual who is capable of turning even the simplest activity into a maze, and an individual who believes that their shortcomings may be attributed to you. Their exit was not a chaotic one. Surgery was performed. And this is the reason why it was so successful. Your power move was not solely about separating people from one another. The topic at hand was replacement. You didn't just leave some room for space. Your life has been filled with people and opportunities that are a perfect match for the person you have become. This is the reason why everyone who is watching can notice the difference between then and now, which is like night and day. The path that you are currently on is so precise that it was previously non-existent. You have stopped perceiving your life as a collection of random occurrences, and as a result, every decision feels like it is a part of a much broader strategy. You have demonstrated that you are treating it as if it were a masterpiece. It is more likely than you realize that the conversation about your transformation has spread wider. It seems as though people you have never met are repeating your name with reverence, attempting to figure out how you managed to make such a significant change. Uncomplicated is the response. You made a decision to stop allowing the wrong people to touch your plans. There is now a group of people who are drawn to your light, and you do not need to employ advertising to attract them. It is clear to them that you have achieved a level of expertise that is uncommon. Self-alignment that cannot be purchased, duplicated, or coerced into existence. Those individuals who previously investigated you in order to identify your shortcomings are still doing so, but for a different cause. They are curious about the manner in which you have established momentum that continues to expand even in the face of opposition. You have become a point of reference as a result of your metamorphosis. Even though they would never confess it to you directly, people are silently making adjustments to their own life as a result of witnessing the standard that you have set to them. In addition to becoming an example of resiliency, you have also become an example of living intentionally. Evidence that getting rid of things that aren't beneficial to you is equally as effective as incorporating things that are beneficial. The story you tell is no longer merely a personal one. It acts as a teaching tool. Individuals are not only seeing what you did, but also how you did it, and they are coming to the realization that they could apply the same ideas. Many different routes are responsible for the attention that you are currently receiving. Conversations with people you do not know, formal situations in which your work is acknowledged, and opportunities that are presented behind the scenes are all places where you can find it. At long last, your discipline is being acknowledged as the unique and valuable commodity that it is. If you are able to maintain consistency in a world that is full of distractions, individuals who are in positions of influence will find you to be magnetic. The attention that is being paid is not hype. It all comes down to credibility. The acknowledgement that comes from the fact that your results speak louder than your introductions ever could is what you are looking for. Your abilities, which you have been concealing from others, are suddenly coming into full light right now. Being a leader comes easily to you. There is a sense of having earned influence, and your communication is received with impact rather than effort. Your mental, emotional, and physical mobility are all being brought into focus by your actions. Selecting places and individuals that are good for you rather than ones who bring you down. Due to the fact that you have been trained to anticipate opposition, the smoothness of this subsequent chapter may initially feel unusual to you. The absence of struggle, on the other hand, is not a trap. It's the culmination of years of hard work and dedication. When it comes to being special, you have ceased requesting permission. You have, as a result of this action, unlocked a rhythm that enables every facet of your existence to flow in harmony with one another. There is no longer a feeling of wasting time trying to find what is intended for you. You, on the other hand, are observing its arrival in accordance with your willingness to receive it. There has been a change in your connection with time. Having patience is not about waiting, as you have discovered. The key is to be aware of when it is appropriate to take action and when it is also appropriate to step away. What you are experiencing in your life right now is not only a matter of monetary comfort. The freedom to choose without being constrained, the ability to say yes or no from a place of abundance are all aspects of this concept. Now is the time for those individuals who have harbored resentment toward your potential from the very beginning. Additionally, the agony that they bring is evidence that you are heading in the right direction. The Lord loves a cheerful giver, 2 Corinthians 9 verse 7. Show your joy by sowing $50 into Holy Voices today. The foundation that you have established is unshakable since it was constructed during times when there was no acclaim. Perseverance, not popularity, was the driver behind the placement of each block. You have also realized that generosity is never wasted, which is possibly the most essential thing you have learned. In spite of the fact that it was not returned, it was recorded, and the number of returns that are arriving has increased. It is impossible to rehearse or duplicate the presence that you exude since it is already present. What you get as a result of living your truth to the fullest is this. As soon as you enter, the air has a different sensation. Whenever you open your mouth, the pace of the conversation slows down. Whenever you make a decision, everything else seems to fall into place. It has nothing to do with ego. In other words, it is about stepping into the scale of life that you were always meant to fill without reducing yourself to meet the comfort of minds that are smaller. The channels that were previously preventing you from making progress have been eliminated, and as a result, opportunities are growing. Partnerships, endorsements, and offers are not coming from gimmicks, rather, they are coming from the reputation that you have built through consistency, skill, and authenticity. People who are in influential positions are talking about your name in places that you have never been and never visited. You should plan out strategies to connect yourself with your momentum. The presence of those who possess the resources to amplify what you have achieved is attracting the attention of those individuals. It is not because you requested, but rather because the work that you have done has made it impossible to ignore you. You are going to be challenged to make more daring choices than you have in the past because of what is on the horizon. It is possible that this will require you to abandon the comfort of the familiar, to reorganize what you have known, or to take a leap of faith that would have scared your previous self. At this point, however, the idea of remaining still seems more dangerous than taking a step forward. Every attempt to obstruct you has been shattered by the weight of its own shortcomings. The whispers, the plans, and the covert attacks have all been transformed into momentum during the course of this incident. The amount of protection surrounding your path is such that it transforms any interference into fuel. Those that attempted to obstruct your path are coming to realize that every obstacle that is thrown in your direction is being utilized to construct your subsequent stride a step higher. It was envy that was supposed to slow you back, but it has instead sped up your rise to prominence. Those who were unable to tolerate your innate brilliance are now observing it continue to shine brighter, and they are unable to dispute that you are gaining ground more quickly than ever before. It will feel like a surge when you reach this next chapter. There is so much progress being made that even those who have backed you will have a difficult time keeping up with it. There will be those individuals who will return with apologies disguised as negotiations and pleadings cloaked in convictions. They will attempt to re-enter your universe by rewriting the past, but your perspective has shifted, therefore they will be unsuccessful. At this point, their noise is merely background noise. It is perceptible but unimportant. Those who are intended to remain in your narrative will respond to your energy on the basis of persistence rather than convenience. Through their actions, they will demonstrate to you that they acknowledge the contributions that you make, and they will guard their place at your table because they are aware that it is not something that can be simply acquired. The reality that is currently taking shape around you is the result of careful craftsmanship. Every aspect that reflects who you really are and whatever it is that you are here to accomplish. This is not a life that has been taken from the blueprint of another person. You have constructed your very unique architecture with the purpose of highlighting your exceptional qualities and enhancing your inherent brilliance. Something even more substantial has been silently aligning itself with your path behind the scenes, and it has been forming. During the time that you have been concentrating on the wins that are visible to you, your perspective has strengthened to the point where nothing can pretend to be innocuous if it poses a threat to your development. You go about your daily activities with the decisiveness of someone who is aware of everything that is appropriate and everything that is not appropriate. Irregularities are not the source of the shift that people are observing. What drives it is the indisputable proof that your shift has taken place. The talks that are taking place about you are founded on respect rather than guesswork. Not only for yourself, but also for everyone whose life has been impacted by your legacy, you are gradually becoming the turning point for an altogether new chapter. As a result of your power to change the narratives that are passed down from generation to generation, people are looking to you for leadership, direction, and mentorship. When someone decides to rewrite the rules rather than inherit limits, you have become the example of what is possible. You have done this by refusing to inherit limitations. At this point in your life, you open the door to independence on your own terms. You are free to spend your days with activities that excite and motivate you. Whether it be spending extended periods of time outside, spending hours working on something you enjoy, or spending time being totally present with the people who are most important to you. As a result of the dissolution of the limitations that had previously determined your pace, there is now room for joy to be a constant rather than an afterthought. It is now your energy that carries a quiet strength, an influence that does not yell but effortlessly rules the room. It is not that you are seeking validation. To others, you have become the opportunity that they have been waiting for. There is no one who could have predicted the unanticipated change that occurred in the story. You are the turning point. And the more you tell yourself that truth, the more it transforms from a statement into a reality that is woven into the very fabric of your being. The way in which your life is currently unfolding around you is redefining what it means to be fulfilled. You are demonstrating that enduring happiness is not something that one seeks for. By prioritizing alignment above approval, it is something that you experience firsthand in each and every moment. There is no waiting around until the appropriate moment. One should not seek validation from individuals who are unable to see your vision. You are creating days that sound like a story that is worth reading again and again. The presence of connections that are effortless and real, since they flourish on mutual respect rather than quiet envy, surrounds the individual. Every new chapter comes with a foundation of experiences that truly appreciate you. This foundation is being built on. Now, the people you let to meet you at your highest position, rather than bringing you down to match theirs, are the ones you allow to meet you. You are forming relationships that are characterized by an unspoken understanding, those in which your victories are acknowledged without the presence of competition and in which your development is supported without opposition. It's not enough to simply be a good fit when you put your heart into someone, something, or somewhere at this point in time. It represents the energy that you have worked so hard to cultivate in an ideal way. You are no longer considering the possibility of being close enough when you are aware that there is a more profound level of connection that can be achieved. Not because they are based on obligation, but because they are founded on truth. These are the alignments that feel natural. The rhythm that you have currently in your life is not something that can be faked. As a result of your decision to quit forcing things to conform to an obsolete model, things are flowing. Because of the shared goals that both parties are working toward, your relationships, whether they are professional or personal, are developing without any tension. There is no requirement for you to continually justify your actions or demonstrate your valuableness. They are comprehended right from the beginning. The reality that you are about to enter is one in which love, opportunities, and creative expression will all approach you on an equal footing. At long last, you have found yourself around by the kind of people and initiatives that not only coexist with your dreams but also enhance them. In addition, the concept of a happy ending that lasts forever is not an ending at all in this context. It is the manner that you navigate through life on a daily basis. You are no longer in the process of preparing for the moment that you have been working for. It is the case, and there is no denying it. Every single struggle that you have been through and every single restriction that you have broken has brought you to this precise point where everyone's attention is unquestionably pulled to you. This stage is yours, not because it was given to you, rather, it is yours because you have earned it through tenacity, skill, and an unwavering faith in your own value. All around you, there is a buzzing sound of expectancy. The people who underestimated you are now looking over their shoulder to see what your next move will be. What used to feel like a far-off dream has now become a reality that you are living in, where the forces of creation itself are moving in step with you. Your future is currently being actively co-constructed by the unseen assistance that helped you get through the most difficult times. This support is actively matching events, people, and resources with surgical precision. Give, and it will be given to you. Luke 6 verse 38. When you bless Holy Voices today with $20 or more through Super Thanks, you open the windows of heaven over your life. The deceptions that other people attempted to instill in you have totally vanished, and in their stead is a framework that you have constructed with clear and purposeful aim. Because of this, you are no longer going through life as a participant in the script that someone else has written. It is up to you to decide the tone of the story, select the characters, and figure out the twists in the plot. The freedom that you have asserted is not limited to only being independent. Mastery is the goal here. You are now in charge of this domain, which is being molded by decisions that respect who you are and what you believe in. Individuals are now aware that you are functioning from a position of power, which means that every encounter you have now carries a new level of significance. They have the ability to perceive that your actions are calculated not out of fear but rather out of vision. And while many people may make an effort to align themselves with your momentum, the only people who will find a place in your circle are those who contribute value and integrity to the table. Your subsequent actions will not only play a significant role in determining your own legacy, but they will also motivate others to rewrite their own. You have come to provide as living proof that transformation is not something that just occurs. That which is forged through conviction, clarity, and bravery is forged. Moreover, from this point forward, every single spotlight that you are placed under will merely validate what you have been aware of the entire time. You are always destined to reign supreme on the stage. What is taking place right now is more than just a demonstration of expertise. In other words, it is a living representation of what happens when a person gives up every limit that they have put on themselves and leans completely into their actual capacity. This is not merely a light obsession. When you make your belief in yourself the basis for every action you take, it is a complete reevaluation of what is feasible for you to accomplish. Because their imagination for your potential was too limited to hold what you were truly capable of becoming, they were unable to make a prediction about it. It is no longer a question of whether or not you are capable of dealing with what is going to happen. At this point, the question is whether or not the world is prepared to meet you at the level that you are now working on. Each and every obstacle that you have overcome, each and every lesson that you have incorporated, and each and every boundary that you have established has molded you into a force that cannot be reproduced. Since then, there has been no doubt about the result. There was no way around your arrival. The stage is adapting to accommodate the magnitude of your presence now that you have progressed from the stage of survival to the stage of mastery. The fact of the matter is that you have been the builder of this moment for a very long time, long before anybody else could perceive it. Every single decision, every single sacrifice, and every single pivot has been a component of a design that is being shown for the first time now. As a reward for not giving in to the pressure to conform in order to make other people feel comfortable, this is the payoff for betting on yourself when no one else did. The way you are moving is reminiscent of someone who is aware that the crown has always been yours and is just waiting for you to take possession of it. You are not actively pursuing approval to expand at this time. The command for your life to act in accordance with your vision is being issued by you. You have stopped dealing with uncertainty, you have stopped bargaining with fear, and you have stopped accepting watered-down versions of the life that you consider yourself to be deserving of. It will be impossible for those who underestimated you to forget the day they discovered you were never playing their game. They will have no choice but to remember that day. You were coming up with your own design. The transition from potential to embodiment is made permanent with the completion of this chapter. You are no longer making pledges about what you might develop into. You, yourself, are the proof, the living proof, and the consequence that cannot be disputed. And from this moment on, every action you take will leave an imprint that no one will be able to remove, since you have fully assumed authorship over your own destiny. Beloved chosen one, if this message touched your spirit, remember, nothing you heard today was by accident. Heaven makes no mistakes. Your journey matters, your voice matters, and your light is needed in this world. Before you go, take a moment to like this video so that the message can reach more souls. Share it with someone who needs hope today. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Holy Voices so we can walk this divine path together. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every one, and I pray over them. Until next time, stay strong, stay faithful, and remember, the one who called you is faithful, and he will do it. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 24.